Good morning, everyone. Tonia Reeves, Australias Cowgirl Medium, here with the awesome Tony Kiss from Human Repair Shop in Sydney. Yay! How you going, Tone?
I'm good. You've got me. You've just come on here, and I was not even at the start line, and you are halfway through the race. Here I am playing catch up.
That's what true partnership is, isn't it? Like it's just when one gets it down a bit, the other one just jumps in and does it. I think we do that well.
It's like you are like the defibrillator from space. It's just like boom, turbocharged. It's good. I'm good. Tasha's on board. How are you, Tash? Good to have you on board. If you're out there in this crazy community, jump on board. Let's see what's happening out there with beautiful people. Easter's just gone. I hope you've got some lovely Easter stories. Some kids that were heartbroken because they didn't get the Easter eggs they wanted, and we can talk about Easter egg hunts. It's quite interesting. But let's go on. Hey, Tonya, tell us, what'd you do? What's your family ritual over the Easter break?
Well, we don't really have one over Easter, to be honest. It's just about sharing eggs and that kind of thing. But we don't, because it's such a busy time for everyone. And up where we are, like traffic's horrendous to try and get to and from for Easter. So it's like, oh, nightmare. So, yeah, we don't necessarily do the whole family thing on Easter. We're catching up this weekend because it's Shelby Reeves' 21st birthday.
Oh, my God, Shelby, happy 21st. Wow, let's get into that. Rachel, good morning to you. Karen, great to have you on board. Finally, you can watch this.
Yes.
Karen, a lot of comments from you then. We expect it. So how exciting as a mum? Tell me what it's like to be a mother of a 21-year-old, somebody, you've seen blossom to who she is today. What's it mean for you?
Well, she's the youngest, so it's like that's the baby's 21. It's kind of surreal, and I do share that with many. I remember looking back when the kids were young and you were going through those, struggles that as a mom is real. You think this is never going to end, and then seriously, you blink and you go, "Wow, where did that time go?"
Where did it go? Yeah, exactly. Does it go really quick? It's one of those things, which is, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Claudia.
she's 20.
Hey, Claudia,
so,
I know.
Claudia, how are you? What's the game plan? What is the game plan for?
She doesn't want a big party, and so we're just doing a big family day on Sunday. So we'll do family day here at the farm, the grandkids, everyone just chilling out, and we always have a great catch up. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Nice, that would be really, really cool. Yeah, a lot of people, I don't know about you guys out there. You tell me. Everybody, those people that say, "Oh, I don't want a big fuss made over me," just and then you surprise that person who doesn't want the big fuss, I don't want the big fuss kind of, and then you go out there and you give them a kick-ass party, like you get celebrities in, you get, I don't know who a celebrity is these days for these 21-year-olds, but if it was us, it would be like, wow, you get Catherine Zeta-Jones in and you get George Clooney in because they're cool, Stallone in our era, so, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and you put on this extravagant party and they go, oh my God, that was amazing. And you're thinking, 3 weeks ago, you're the little shit who said you didn't want a big deal made out of it. And then they flip. Where do we sit there with that, ladies and gentlemen? Have we ever been that person, or do we know that person?
Well, that's what I was like with Shelby. I said, come on, we'll go on an adventure. We'll do this. She goes, no, I don't want. I'm just happy to have a chilled 21st. And I'm like, because her 18th was in COVID, so we didn't really have the opportunity to celebrate it.
Right. Okay.
So,
cool.
Yeah. So I thought she might have gone nuts, but not to be the case. So
okay.
There you go. But yeah, interesting. So no, we'll make it fun though. I've ordered the red velvet cake, so she's excited. It's her favorite. So as long as I've got the red velvet cake, it's all good.
Goes with your hair there, Tonya.
Does.
Very much so. I think it's great. I think it's really good. Tash is going. The only tradition she didn't do this year for Easter was hot cross buns. You didn't do. Bugger. You can still do them now. Don't you worry, Tash. Get back on it. Claudia's got a question. She goes, Shells, how 21? How?
Yes.
Well, it's 1 year after the other normally. That's what happens.
It flies. Got a beautiful young son called Samuel, who's, I don't know, how old would Samuel be now, Claudia? Like, he'd be growing up too. So it's crazy how fast it goes. And as a mum, it's crazy. And Rachel's put a house contract crashed back on the market.
I saw that, Rach. Okay, that's, you know what?
we still having
It
people through, Rach?
sucks. But
Yeah. Sorry, Tony, I'm interrupting. Had too much coffee today.
no, man, you coffee it up, man. Told you, you're like a top fueler up against the tortoise. You can elevate this group to the heights it needs to be. Don't you worry. Oh, Rach, that sucks so much, man. So house contract crashed. So we're back on the market, but we got a rental. Okay, you got a rental. Look, don't worry about it, Rach. Honestly, I don't know. You know this area better than I do, Tonia Reeves. How would you interject here, or people on the community? Let's interject and talk about Rachel's issues here, because that sucks, man. That's like, you know what? That's like being at the altar, right? And then the other person doesn't turn up.
I know. That does. I reckon there'll be an offer. Rach, I'll give it 4 weeks I just strongly feel within 4 weeks you'll have something in concrete. So I don't believe you would have got the rental if it wasn't going to sell. Because that's how things roll. But it is,
you know what?
Yeah, it is slow at the moment. We've got a couple of cars. We ended up buying a car to replace 2 cars. So we've got 2 cars for sale that are really well priced, and it's been like people inquiring, but no one's jumping. And I think we've been so used to everything jumping quick because everything has been, like people have jumped at things. Whereas now with money being a bit tight, people are that little bit more hesitant.
Yeah, look, living up here in Sydney, ladies and gents, for us Sydney-siders, look, I'm going to use a financial term that I heard on the TV. I didn't really hear on the TV, but the term is called prices of bullshit at the moment. They're just going through the roof, Tonia. They're like, I went and bought, here you go, ladies and gentlemen. I went in and bought chicken thigh fillets the other day, right? They were charging $26 a kilo. And I said to the guy, I go, can I just maybe have 4 thigh fillets? And he goes, that's $19. And I thought, holy Jesus. Okay, what were these chickens doing? Were they doing like leg press, or were they like squatting out at the gym? Like, mate, these have got to be huge. And, and he just had the audacity to go, that's bullshit, people. Bullshit. That's my financial advice for the day. But Rach, it is. That's what's happening. I think things are going up. People are freaking out a little bit. They think, you know what they reckon? Correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen here. Yeah, the interest rates. And the other thing is, I think people are just waiting to see what happens in the marketplace. Really, they're going to go, oh, is this an indication that there's going to be a drop in the market? That could be a possibility. Is there a possibility of that, ladies and gents? Is that what we're saying?
Look, I think there is. There's definitely a correction because it's been going up that way for too long, and you've only got to look at history. It shows that isn't sustainable. So at some point, it's going to go back. But at the end of the day, it's, when you're buying and selling, it's not a big deal because what you lose in one hand, you gain in the other. And I know for Rach, they're going to rent for a little while, but still, if they rent for 6 months and the prices drop down, they're still ahead. So I think, I think it's just a case of it's all relative. But I think if people don't panic about it and go, if you're an educated person with buying and having debt, I think you're fine. I think it's just those that maybe are a bit loose with it that are going to find the struggle real, to be honest. Like,
it's good advice there, Ton. I like that. Yeah, it's experience. And I think Rachel sounds like she says that she'll be a little bit experienced in that. But I get it. You open house every Saturday. You know what, Rach? It's like online dating. You're meeting all these fellas. They're all dickheads, right? But you still got to go out and have a beer with them. It goes nowhere, right? I feel you. Rachel's thinking, give me my prince. I'm sick and tired of kissing frogs. Like, give me that one person that will buy in is where you're at. I get it.
And Rachel's a good example. Like, remember Rach finding Trav. Now, before Trav, Rach really...
Her life was terrible. Just a miserable mess. Met Trav, it's all good now.
That's right. And then along it comes. So I believe, Rach, we're being tested right now to keep the faith, because I am the same. I am like, I need to move some stuff that's for sale. And it's like, I'm not even getting time wasters yet. So I'm like, okay, that's a sign, keep the faith. Just, really stand by that and go, we know it's going to happen. And we have to let go of that desperation that we tend to feed into, that got to have a sale, got to have a sale, and that kind of blocks us. So we just got to go, you know what? And that's what I've been, consciously going. I'm not checking for messages each day. I'm just like, no, I'll do it, or, a few times a day. I'm just like, once a day. If there's no messages, that's fine.
Yep.
I'm cool with that.
Yep, absolutely. And look, yeah, Rachel's going, true, Tonya. Now Trav and I just need to wait. You got to play that game. It sucks, but that's just where it's at. I think where it sucks for her the most, and you guys, because you had somebody on the line, and
Absolutely.
therefore you would have, like, Tonya, don't you reckon you would do this thing where you go, oh,
done.
Okay,
Done.
I've already got the next part of my future already planned out, because I know this is done and dusted, and now that just crumbled.
And I think from memory, Rachel, the people had to sell their house. Is that correct? And they hadn't done. That's what the deal was. So, it's that, but it doesn't mean that they're still not interested. Maybe their house is.
Could not have said it better myself, Rachel. Could not have, like losing a big trout on a fishing line. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been there before, tell you what, it's devastating. I remember one of the first trouts I had. Don't want to bring it on to myself, because this is about you and Trav at the moment, Rachel. I want you to get that totally clear, but just so I can actually talk about this. First time caught a trout, right? Almost caught a trout, and it put up a big fight. And they're a great fish to catch. They're a fighting fish. And I caught it by pure chance. I think the poor trout just went, oh, there's something there. And I'm just winding a reel in and jagged a trout. I saw it was a trout. I got really G'd up. I'm about 12 or 13 years old. I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, who was a dude that we used to have? Who was the fishing guy that we had that used to kiss the fish and put it back?
Yes.
Rex Hunt. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm Rex Hunt. I'm like, I want to kiss this sucker, but I'm not going to put it back. And I can see it jumping up and doing that. And I don't want to name call the fish, but the fish got away. Rachel, devastated. Absolutely. So going back to you, Rachel, I totally get where you're coming from. Very good way to do it. Shelby, how are you? Yes, I haven't acknowledged. Geez, you're a bit needy today, Shelby, aren't you, princess? What
Shelby,
happened?
Wait, you had your moment of glory about your 21st came about 2 minutes into this, and you weren't on.
Yep. We talked about what presents you're going to get. One hint I've got for you, Shelby. I hope you've got a helicopter landing pad at home. If not, you'll have to get one. That's my little guest hint to you.
Love it. Rachel's been watching Alone. What's it about, Rachel? What's it about, Rachel? A true survival show. Wow, Alone on SBS. That sounds interesting. Shelby, bold of you to assume I'm never needy to begin with, Tony.
I know. Sorry, my apologies. That'll never happen again. Yeah, helicopter could be. I'm just saying, get that helicopter pad happening. Is my little hint there.
Absolutely.
Shelby, you're turning 21. Let's just have a quick reflection here with Shelby. Tell us, being 21, what are some things that you're really grateful for at the moment, turning 21? Is it this weekend?
Yep. Sunday.
There you go.
Sunday. Red Velvet Cake Day. Love it. She's not grateful for women. Love them. How lucky you're surrounded with so many of them, Shelbs. Very, very good. And good women. I'm going to put my hand up. I'm sure Shelby will disagree with that one, but anyhow.
It does happen.
She's living her best life. Well done, Shelbs. Tony's my favourite woman. Good.
Thanks, man. I try. I do try.
So besides celebrating 21st, what's happening for everyone on the feed today? What's this week been like? What's Easter been like? So, Tony, you went away. How did you go?
Yeah, we had a great time away up at the entrance, which is only an hour and a half out of Sydney. So it's north on the beaches there. If you haven't been before, lovely part of the world, really, really nice. We got to spend time with family. So that was with all the sister, brother-in-law, and also the nephew and nieces. And so we had this great apartment. It was right on the beach. It was sunny every day. It was lovely. We could go for bushwalks. We went to Booty National Park. or Budai National Park, and it was undulating. It was a really tough walk, but it was 8.5 Ks where you got an 11 or 13-year-old pretty much just at the end of it, you could tell they were just getting to that point where they were losing it. They were like, oh my God, like they were tired, they were hungry, they were annoyed, they were, you name it, they had no energy left, and you knew somebody was going to be crying on the way home in the car. You knew that for sure. And sure enough, they didn't let us down, did they? They really brought it on, didn't they? It was great. We did an Easter egg hunt. Did you guys do an Easter egg hunt? I know some of you might have.
We did one on the Wednesday with the crew that we catch up with. Mel, who's normally on, but she'd be sleeping in today, I think, with all the kids. So Mel's kids, they did it. They had a fun Easter hunt, which was really cool. They loved it. And, the funny part was I got my friend the day that we were having Wednesday, I was running late. So I got my friend to go shopping and get what we needed. And I didn't realize she had the eggs. There was a bag there of eggs, and I thought they were Shelby. So we didn't hand them out. So guess what? I've been eating eggs for the last 4 days.
How are you going with that?
I'm loving it. I'm nearly done. So I think that's pretty good. I'll have had my fix for a while.
I like that. Hey, Bridget's on board as well. Wally says good morning too. Hey, Wally, how are you, legend? I hope you're well. I hope you're enjoying your school holidays too, mate. I hope it's all going well. Lucy's on board as well, which is fantastic. Bridget stayed at home to enjoy the cold Easter weather. Did you guys have it cold down in Victoria?
Freezing weather. We got a real winter boom.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was freezing. So
okay, I think we're getting your cold snap coming up at the moment. But yeah, it was nice. Do you know what? It was nice just to hang out with family and also hit the pause button for a minute and not having to be rushed around and doing all that other kind of stuff. So that was really, really cool. Yeah, Tassie, you're in Tassie, Lucy. I could just imagine how cold is it down there? Because I know there's been snow up in the snowy mountains here in New South Wales. So there must be a cold front coming through.
It's crazy. We've had a real burst of grass growth here, which has been good for the animals, but no doubt the real cold snap will come and stop that from, happening. But yeah, Tassie would be next level. Luce, put your warm gear on.
Absolutely.
I do love it. So I do enjoy getting out in the weather. To me, I'd rather be outside and rug up than outside in the heat.
Oh yeah, fair enough. That's I think a lot of people can relate to that, where they prefer to be all cold inside, which is nice. Okay, yeah, cool. So Lucy just says, "I'm sorry, I missed you when you were down here in Tassie." Tonia,
yes,
that's
Lucy. Yeah, sorry we didn't get to catch up. It was like a real last minute throw a show together, which is a bit like what we might be doing in Sydney, Tony. I was only thinking it's next month.
Is it next month? Yeah, I always ask you what date is it? I always ask you what date.
Around the week 20th. So I think whatever's the closest Friday out to that. So yeah, we will have a chat off, decide on what's happening. But yeah, it's like crazy. We'll be in Sydney, then we more or less fly back to Melbourne, then fly out to London on the Monday. So
London's going to be exciting. You all G'd up for that?
Yeah, can't wait.
Because what's the London gig? Is that doing?
That's helping Scott and Trudy with the Mind, Body and Spirit Festival in London. So theirs is really different apparently to here in Australia. So I'm really excited to just experience it and go and help them on the stand and connect with some of the English souls, which will be really cool.
Wow, okay, that if you can crack the UK market, that's huge.
Yeah, well, apparently my cards are doing really well over there, so it will be great to be able to, showcase those, do some readings with them while I'm over there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. I think that's very, very, very cool. I wish you all the best. Have you been to London before?
I have. I went with a girlfriend when I sold my hair salon, probably about 8 years ago now. Yep. Part of the when I sold it, it was like my celebration. Dear friend and I went and we had 4 or 5 weeks over there. So we actually did London, Ireland and a little bit of Scotland. And we took the underground to France. So we were a week in France as well. That was pretty cool too. So we got to do a lot of travel and driving. Nice. I pretty much drove for the most part of it around England. That was easy as I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, look, I think you'll absolutely love it. I think you'll blend in really well. Have you got any shows that you're doing in London though?
I'm not doing any shows at this point. I'll be just doing readings. But if Scott's got a gig there, so he's going to be amazing. And often he'll get me to help him out, or like be his sidekick for that. So that'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to that, and just meeting different people over there in that industry. So getting the connections and that kind of thing over in England will be pretty cool. So
Is there any way you can nudge a spot on stage? Like, is there any way that you can? Is there like a cancellation list or something like for speakers who drop off or something like that?
yeah, look, I am on that, but so they run it really different over there to here. So they've got, and you've more or less got to earn your stripes a bit in England. Like they're very much traditional. So go over there, meet the right people, then the opportunities come up.
Yep. Yep.
And they
absolutely.
actually they emailed me and said, "Would you like to apply for Birmingham, which I think is towards the end of the year?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I think one English trip is enough."
Wow. Okay.
So, so it's just how it rolls. It's the same as the Mind, Body, and Spirit here in Australia. It does take, you don't just rock up and they go, "Here, I'll give you a spot." You've really got to, sort of build a rapport with them.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Well, I suppose you want to build that relationship. They want to get to know who you are as well and see.
They do. And they're not going to just put on an unknown, like an unknown for over there. So, yes, I'm a known here in Australia, but for them to, be able to choose, like Scott's been over there, he's done it before, he's a known, and he was the same. He had a stand there, got to know them, and then they put him on stage. So that's just that's how it goes. And I suppose.
How long has he been doing it for over there?
I think a couple of years, I believe. I
Okay.
think would have been before COVID probably, and this might be the first one since, or maybe last.
Okay.
No, I think last year.
Okay. So he's done quite well, actually.
Yeah, he's amazing, and I just love watching Scott on stage. He's incredible.
Is he?
He is. He is the master. He's just like, you can't help but be mesmerized. And I don't know, because over there you only get half an hour on stage, which would be pretty crazy, like compared to here we get an hour. But he's just incredible to watch. So you just, being in the room and seeing Scott perform is amazing. So you can't beat that.
Okay, yeah. Look, a good presenter is a great presenter. Like yourself, you're very good at presenting. You're very captivating. Absolutely. Wait, we've got some good stuff here. Lucy started a new job a few weeks ago. That's great. Hey, tell us what the new job is. That's always very, very exciting. And then Tash asked a question. Tonia, have you got any workshops booked for Seymour?
Oh, yes. Well, we're just talking about that at the moment. Carly just messaged me and said we need to do a couple of shows. So, yes, we are working on that, Tash. Hopefully stay tuned, and we will be looking at booking some in.
Yep, that's good. So that's keep Tash posted on that one. Rachel goes, I just had the death circle for 10 minutes, so I lost you guys. Oh no, I'm guessing you've got a Mac, and it's got that color circle of death. I used to have the same thing, Rachel. It sucks, oh no, it's gonna die, and then it comes back again. It's a bit of a bugger, but it's good to have you back. But yeah, I really like that idea of you going overseas and doing it. I really think you're going to nail it. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised. It's a good old Australian thing, isn't it? Where they go, make it overseas and then you'll make it here in Australia. Like, it's so ridiculous. Like, you hear it with bands as well. They had to go to America to become big, and then they came back home. They were like overnight successes all of a sudden, but they've been here for the last 10, 15 years. So... yeah, it is. I think you'll do extremely well. Would you go over to Ireland at all, or not on this trip?
I won't have time this time around, but I loved Ireland. Was up there as my favourite.
Yeah.
When we went over there, I love Wales as well, but Ireland, I loved it.
Nice. Yeah.
I loved Ireland. Like, everyone's so welcoming. We had the best fun in Ireland.
Look, I've got a friend over there. Sorry, I'm just doing something on a heater at the moment. My shoes got wet in the rain, didn't they, ladies and gentlemen? Now I'm putting my shoes on the heater. So that's what I've got to do. And
there the phone's going to say, hey.
Because the socks are now dry, so the shoes go on. So you could imagine the lovely odor that I've got in my room right now. Just, it's great.
I love it.
Oh, good. But yeah, I've got a friend over in Ireland at the moment. He is originally Irish, but he did what Ahida, Rach, it's really cold here in Sydney. It's actually dropped. It's raining, it's miserable. Just this morning, it's just dropped. But yeah, so he went over. Kevin and I used to work together. We used to do a lot of leadership development in corporate world and whatnot. And so here in Sydney, it's pretty big, and in Melbourne, it's big in the States. And it's big in the UK, but not so much in Ireland. Like Ireland's just starting to wake up to all that kind of stuff. And he's gone over there now to live permanently again in Ireland. And he said people in Ireland are so receptive for things that are going to help them out. So things like, leadership training or anything like that, and also mental health stuff. And I guarantee it with the work that you're doing, it would be the same thing. It will be where people get an opportunity to reconnect with loved ones, which is such an important thing. So, yeah, Ireland's not a bad one. If you ever go there, let us know, because we've got some contacts for you over there.
Awesome.
And we could definitely help you out there. That'll be really good. And I think the other thing too is if there's anyone on this feed that might be able to help Tonia out while she's over in the UK with some connections or anything like that, would be also really good to hear, because, if you get to do a side hustle gig or something like that, like do your own thing, like how you do in our clinic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I love that. And it's great to have that intimate, it's a lot of people say that, I think when I was over in Tassie, one of my cousins said, oh, how does it feel? You're used to having audiences of 200 odd people and then to go to like 30. And I'm like, hell no, I love the intimate gigs just as much. Like it's just so awesome to be able to connect in for a small group. It's great. And you really kind of get to share a lot. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the intimate gigs are very, very, very cool. I agree.
Yep.
What's current? My coverage is weird. Heaps of people up here from Man from Snowy River Festival.
Is on. Yes, I must get up there one year, Karen. But yeah, I can imagine you poor locals it'd be packed with people, like thousands of people flocking to the mountain for the Man from Snowy River Festival. It's massive.
Yep, absolutely. Rachel's got to run. She's got to go get some work. Good luck with work, Rachel. Look, good luck with the sale of the house too. Putting some positive vibes there for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, cool. Man. You can plug whatever you want. Rachel, what do you want? Rachel goes, can I plug my intimate gig coming up in May at Waterfall in, how do you pronounce this place?
Waterfront in Dillabar. Is it Dillabar?
Dillabar.
That's a good one. That's a good one too.
Are you going to Dillabar? Dillabar. Absolutely, man. I like it's sort of like it's when Rachel goes, can I plug my gig coming up? When you ask it, you've already pretty much done it. So yeah, sure. Why not?
Link up, but that's what we're about, isn't it? We love it.
Put a link up, yeah.
Whatever you need. And Lucy's popped in here. We haven't got back to was she works in a government job, but in a new area. There's a lot of people, Tony, at the moment that are changing up what they're doing. So I've noticed that. Like I've been really, full on with readings, and I'm amazed at the amount of people that are saying yes to change, and I think that's freaking awesome. Is what I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you getting a lot of that? What people are just going, yep, we're doing something different, or just changing, or changing careers altogether, like.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, embracing change, like leaving what no longer serves them. There's a lot of flushing out at the moment. There's a lot of people even leaving, like people having not conflict so much, but people swapping up who they're hanging around and who they exchange energy with. It's really crazy.
Really? Yeah. Do share, Tonia Reeves. This is interesting. Who else is going through this? Who's getting rid of the old and
bringing in the new? It's really crazy. It's like for some people, and again, this is just through connecting with so many of the last sort of week, probably 2 weeks, is letting go of the people that aren't really there for you, that maybe you thought were there for you. And it's been fascinating just to connect with people, and also to reassure them that by shedding some people, it allows you to bring in new, and I always say that will happen organically sometimes. And for some of these people, like I read for a lady the other week, and she had a long friend that had been like 20 odd years, and she just turned on her for no reason. And I said, it's like the universe is saying, time to do a clean sweep here. So
Wow.
yeah, it's really interesting.
Okay, that is pretty cool. I'm sure. Here you go. Jen's got a good one. How are you, Jen? I saw two readers when I lived in Silo, just outside Galway. They booked into our hotel. Lots of people came. Yeah, look, that area there is really. They would absolutely eat that up because it's not that common either. That's what I'm saying. Like, Tom, when you're over in the UK, I'd be going out and yeah, I'd be doing little gigs here and there. That's what I'd really be doing. I think you'd do well. I know it takes time and energy. You don't know anybody over there. That's the hardest thing. So you go, what hotel do I go to? What's the community
That's
like?
right.
Yeah,
it's good out there. But it's something you've inspired me today, because I'm like, there's nothing stopping me putting it out there to say, hey, I'm going to be in England from this date to this date, and if anyone's got any contacts, let us know.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Lorinda goes, when I get out of hospital and better, I'm thinking of career change. Lorinda, how long are you in hospital for? Sorry to hear that. Do we know that Lorinda's in hospital? Did we?
Yes, last week Lorinda was just in for exploratory or surgery or tests, but we haven't heard anything specific yet, Lorinda. Let us know.
No.
Let us know how you're going.
But you're looking at career change. But Lucy, I just wonder and go back to you. You've changed jobs, and although you're in government, you've changed the role that you do. So it'll be pretty exciting to hear how that's going, because sometimes we can think the grass is greener on the other side, and it is. It can be. Sometimes it can be, but sometimes it's not. It would be really interesting to see how these stories do pan out. Jen goes, yes, Tonia, I'm protecting my energy for a while now. So she's looking at cutting people away and whatnot. That's what I'm hearing there. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's just, and it's not about, I say to people, it's not that someone's bad or whatever. It's just a resonance thing. Sometimes you outgrow people and you go different ways for a reason. And it's a little bit like I was having a chat the other week about, some people are in your life for a long time and some just aren't. So it's like if you're happy with letting that go, then that's half the battle.
Pretty much, yeah, absolutely. I've got it with a friend. Geez, it's a little bit how you're going, but I think I might just pull them up and have a chat to them and just point out what's going on exactly, because I don't think they're aware of it. And maybe I'm not acting normal. Who knows? So it gives them the opportunity, because we can't always think we're the perfect one. Like I don't you reckon we do that a lot, Ton? We go, it's them, it's their energy, but they're most probably thinking
we're being the absolutely. We can't see the wood for the trees 100%.
We're a dickhead in somebody else's mind. Let's just put it that way, Tonia. Don't you worry about we're not immune to that. It's really cool, because I think as human beings, we like to think that we're the perfect one, right? And they're at fault, right? They're always at fault. And realistically, you're like, geez, if you have to be honest with yourself and go, maybe I'm the dick here. Maybe I'm just, it's not working out. Maybe I'm not doing something right. And that's but exactly. And that's a bitter pill to swallow, right?
It is. And we can't sometimes see that. So it is great to have friends around that can point out, hey, that seems a little bit out there, or,
And look, if you don't have that friend that does that, I'm creating a new business. It's called Hire a Hungarian. And fucking, I'll tell you in 2 seconds exactly what you're like. That they'll drop the bomb and walk away. Just go, yep.
Deal with that.
Deal with it. That's it. Thank you. That'll be $180. Thanks. That was
Good luck with your projects. Love it.
One thing I think I know, and we all know, everybody on this feed knows, that two things, that not many people like to know the truth or want to hear the truth about themselves when it's not in a positive light. Yeah. So, it's in our own heads, we like to think that we're doing everything right. We're doing everything correct. We're doing everything in a beautiful way. And where we're serving society, like, we're just amazing. Well, why don't they give us more recognition for that? But in reality, there's a flip side as well. And there's parts where, we're not communicating correctly, or our intentions are not good, or we lose our way, and we're not the best version of ourselves. And it's those points there where we've got to have a look at ourselves and go, okay, what can I do? What am I doing to actually create this space? Or what am I doing to actually influence this person to act in a certain way as well? So there's always got to be, you got to have I think the thing that I focus on about you, Tonia, is that, what am I doing to evoke this reaction?
Yeah, absolutely. And
And
what
then
I
I go
see
from there.
in me. So,
Yeah,
there can
that's
be
an
traits
interesting one.
that, I always do go back to that, that if somebody's projecting stuff onto you, that's sometimes the universe's way of saying you've got a bit of that in you that needs healing. And this year is, remember Tony Ann, our gorgeous
Yes.
numerology legend, was said to us at the end of last year, and I do recall the conversation, that this year is about us. This year is
Yep.
about healing self. And there's so many opportunities for that. And I agree with you, Tony, that no matter what's going on in your life, if we take responsibility for it, to say, okay, somebody's throwing stuff around in our direction, let's see where that needs to land. And it doesn't mean
Yep.
that you deal with poor behavior and that you overlook somebody treating you badly, but it can be flipped around if you look at, what did I need to learn from that?
Yep. Absolutely. But you know what? We don't like doing that though, Tonia, because
No.
that means we've got to change something. That means we've got to address something. That means we've got to, admit that, guess what? We're a human being and we're not perfect and we stuffed up and we don't like, I think coming up and just admitting where you're stuffing up is where the growth really starts there for you. It's like, okay, I'm stuffing up here or I'm stuffing up there. I'm not too sure why. I need a bit of assistance here, but we're not quick to do that. So I always think about, people that are not serving a purpose for us. I get that, but I think we can always, because the other thing too is, Tonia, is there a possibility that if we just dismiss somebody for the hell of dismissing them for whatever reason, is there a possibility that history will repeat itself because you haven't learned that lesson? He said, I don't know, because I don't have the answer to that. I really don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly believe that we're here to learn lessons, and the more we take responsibility for things, the more we can grow from that lesson.
Yep.
So I think you're right, Tony. If people are like, oh, it's everyone else and it's not me, everyone else has got the problem, or there's always, a reason why that isn't directed at yourself or isn't looking at yourself to grow, then you're not going to grow and you'll keep attracting those people.
Yep. Interesting. So this is a bit of a conundrum, isn't it? Because now you're thinking, oh, I'll get rid of this person, but now we're asked to look at it a different way. We're not saying let's hold on to those energetic ties. No, we're just going, what's the lesson here? What am I getting out of this? Like, whatever, have I dropped the ball somewhere?
Exactly. And why am I attracting it right now? What's going on within me?
Yep. Absolutely. I totally. Lorinda, I'm just going to go quickly on to Lorinda. She goes, she's been here for almost 2 weeks now, had a colonoscopy and an endoscopy with no answers. Blood test day starting with starting to look like a junkie. Oh, you poor thing. You must have needle marks everywhere. And thinking about exploratory keyhole surgery. Oh, Lorinda, that's, you know what? You got to empathize here with Lorinda, where you're just trying to look for an answer and they're coming up with nothing. Like, you're in pain and they're going, I'm sorry, we haven't found anything yet. I'm sorry, we haven't. And they're doing all these tests. And you go, yeah, but I'm not well. And Lorinda, I really, really, really feel for you. My heart goes out to you. I really feel for you on that one. I hope you just feel better one day and everything disappears. That's the magic that I hope for you. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. What do you reckon, Ton, when things like this happen?
Yeah, it's a real hard one. I'm really feeling for you, Lorinda, because it's frustrating. But I also think maybe it's ideal to take a minute and connect in with yourself and say, what are you feeling? What are you feeling like this is? Because pain is a response to something. Is there something you're not addressing within? Because sometimes we often have things that come up with us where we're in pain and we have stuff happening within our body. But when the professionals can't find what it is, it's like we need to dig a bit deeper. What is it that you need to maybe look within for, Rin? Like, is it something that is not being addressed that is deep down? And I know that sounds Yeah, it sounds out there, but I do honestly believe sometimes we need to do that exploring, and that's why the professionals don't necessarily come up straight over the answers.
Okay.
It's sitting back within and going, what is it that I need that I'm not getting for myself right now as well?
Wow, that's I like that. That's another way of looking at Lorinda, really, isn't it? It's taking it on board. I wonder if anybody else has been in this situation where they've been really ill for a little while and they're just not getting answers. They're not getting the answers to anything. It creates a bit of frustration, or a lot of frustration actually, and a lot of heartache, because you just want to, if you've got a problem, then you can work out a solution for it. But when you don't know what the problem is, that's where it becomes really, really, really painful. So yeah, look, I suppose at the moment, Lorinda, at the moment, there's not much you can do personally, except for what Tonia said. But I suppose just distract yourself, watch as many comedies as you can, do whatever you can. It is what it is. You're in good hands, and know that it's a moment in time that will pass. And that's the whole thing. It is a moment in time. So although it doesn't ease the pain, just know that this pain will ease one day. So I get it. It's taking a toll on you.
Hey, we've got Gay. Gay had a birthday. Happy birthday, Gay. Happy belated birthday, Gay. Gay's birthday's around mine, and I didn't get a chance to say happy birthday, so I'd like to say it now. Hope you had a great birthday and things are going good. We've got Jenny and Kathy on board. Kathy shared a good one here too. I always attract those types of people. Unwanted attention. I'm too nice to people and they take it and run with it.
Go on, unpack that one there for you, Tonia.
So, Kathy, you know, that's a hard one, because I think innately most of us are people pleasers. You know, I think we brought up to from a little child, the more well behaved and well managed you are, the more you're revered to be special and great. And, you know, we are kind of encouraged to be that, you know, people pleaser, and you know, when we do that, everything's great and we get that acknowledgement. So I think for many of us who've grown up with that, so then we get to adults and we're still kind of doing that. And you know, it's not it's not easy to try and drop that. But I would think, Kathy, if you're attracting those people, the lesson here is to start to, it's not about not being nice to people, but just not giving, you know, over giving. Like, we can be nice and go, you know what, because ultimately it's a little bit like giving and receiving. If you give something to somebody, you don't give it to them to expect anything in return. But if you over give to them, then we're starting to cross that line into, I have an expectation. So maybe it's about being kind, but not necessarily going any further than that with people until you get to know them even.
Nice point. You know, it reminds me this morning, Tonia, on the radio, there was this thing, we've got Today FM with Husey and who else is it? I forget who the other guys are, but they are really cool. Husey and Aaron. There you go. And there's one more guy. But they do this thing where they get they have people who go on blind or on a date, and they do text messages either to each other, and one person will read out the text message to what happens, and they pretend one's the guy, one's the girl. It's really, really funny. And anyhow, this girl goes on the first date with this guy, and he goes, oh, do you want to go out on a romantic date, all on text? And she goes, yeah, that would be great. Yep. And he goes, oh, I've got the perfect day planned for us, everything. He goes, you know, we'll have a picnic, beautiful spot. She goes, yep, that's fine. That's great. He goes, oh, do you have a bicycle? And she goes, no, I've never really needed one. Right. These guys haven't even met. He goes, oh, that's okay. He goes, I think we should get you one. And then the next thing she goes, oh, yeah, that's nice, but, you know, I won't have time to get one. And then he sends a picture of a bike, of a brand new bike. And she goes, oh, that's a nice bike you've got. And he goes, yeah, I just bought it for you. So now you've got a bike for tomorrow for our romantic picnic for our first ever date. And she was like, oh, okay, this is way too much. This is like heaps and heaps. Anyhow, they go out on this date. She credit to her. She actually goes on the date. She gets on the bike and they ride to this thing. And whilst he's on the date, his mum FaceTimes him, right? And she's going, oh, what's she like? And then so he's like, oh my God, this is my mum. This is our first date. This is whatever her name was, right? And he's really inclusive and too much over the top. anyhow, he writes the next day. He goes, "Oh, what a fantastic date! Can we do this again tomorrow?" And she goes, "Look, nah, look, this is just way too much. You're very generous, but you're way too generous. Like it's just too consuming." She goes, "I'm not interested whatsoever." She had to dump the guy there and then. Fair enough. But it's just an example of somebody going, way good, really good intentions. Comes from the right place. Very, very generous. But it's just way too much. It's all like, and what it does is does the opposite, where instead of attracts it, it repels you from that person. So yeah, sometimes we've got to think of it that way too. That was just my example for today.
Very true. Very true. Yeah. It's a great example. Kathy's put here, I don't even do that much. I only have to say hi and then latch on like a limpet. I attract random people in the street or shopping centre. People just come to me. You're like the Pied Piper of people, Kathy.
No, you're like a Santa Claus. That's what you are, Kathy. You're this magical character. No, look, what do you do, Kathy? You know what it is. And we've spoken about this before, Tonia. It's the boundaries. Just got to say, yeah, hi, how are you? Yep, no worries. Got to go. Bye.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
and you know how you can change. How you can actually change that. And it is a compliment. Oh, Lucy's jumped in here. I love it, Lucy. What a compliment. Must be a good vibes.
Be good vibes. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, Kathy, it would be, obviously you have, a great energy that people are just drawn to. But it's, I suppose, and I've forgotten exactly which direction I was going to go in with that, but it is about, oh, that's right, like starting to change things like that is starting to honor yourself more will help stop that happening. So things like saying no to what you don't want to do, just in everyday life. If somebody says, oh, can you come and I've got a Tupperware party, can you come and be there or something, you really go, I'd rather jump off the bridge or do, I'd rather do something else. Being able to start to say no to those things that don't light you up will then start to create the boundary situation coming into effect a bit easier. And it's really just about saying no to start with. And that will then shift your energy a little bit to be standing in your power more.
Yep.
So that's, we tend to forget we are very powerful. Every one of us are really, really powerful individuals. And, we're all unique. It's like our fingerprints. We're all, different. But it's about honoring ourselves. And we do have to do that because no one else is going to do it for you. If you don't honor who you are and where you sit with things, then, and boundaries, like Tony said, they're really important. And Kathy's put here, yes, exactly. I can't say no.
Yeah, but don't beat yourself up about it, Kathy. That's all right. I mean, like, as Tony said, I think it's a beautiful quality. If people are coming up to you, say, hey, you must have like the most beautiful, we're going to go into the world of auras. You must have the most beautiful aura about you where people just feel, it's so welcoming and open. So there's no threat there. There's nothing. So it's a nice one to have. Is it in your nature to say no? Not really, but you just got to, it's just picking a time, isn't it, Tonia, as well? Like, I think be grateful that people do want to hang out with you too. So that's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that balance. But practice saying no, Kathy, because, otherwise it's very taxing on the physical body if we're, pleasing everybody else. But it'll run a bit deeper than that, a little bit like what Jen and Gay's put in here. Sometimes it's about digging a bit deeper on what works for us and what doesn't. And, just working on that. Doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah, Kathy goes, it's a natural glow. It is. I bet you it is, Kathy. I think that's lovely. It is. Lucy's got a nice one here. Sometimes this is a really good, I like this share, Lucy. This is really cool. Sometimes you forget how much an impact you have on people's lives. And we do. We don't really take note of that, do we? My best friend made a video for my birthday, and she said it shows how much good vibes and happiness you bring to people's lives. It's the little things.
That is so cool. That is so cool. I'm like, oh, that is awesome, Lucy. And I do know Lucy, and she does bring a lot to the table. She's fun and positive.
Yeah, but you don't notice that. You don't, because I don't think we're, Tonia, are we not egotistical enough to say, do you know how awesome I am? I've made a difference in this person's life. They're actually 3 people. No, we don't. Lucy, it's such a great little reminder because we're not, okay, in Australia, we're not built like that, okay?
No, we're pulled down for that, aren't we?
You know what I'm saying, people, don't you? I don't need to explain here where I'm going with that one. But yeah, we don't because we don't intentionally go out there to say, I'm going to make this person have a better day or have some, it's just being you. And that's what happens.
Mm. And Jenny shared a great one here. Thanks, Jenny, for that share. I've learned how to say no, and I feel so much better for it. It is pretty cool.
Nice.
It's a power.
How long did it take you there, Jenny? That's not an easy one, is it, Tonia?
No, definitely not.
No.
We tend to over-explain. I learned that when I trained with Lisa Williams. She's like, she said, as humans, we over-explain. Instead of just saying no, we say, no, I can't because, I've got this on, or I'm not going to be here, or because of blah, blah, blah. And she was like, no, you have to learn to say no without explaining. And when you start that, people don't question. If you say, look, I'd love to, but I can't.
Even that's too much. Just no. I just like it. It freaks me out. I couldn't do it. I'd be going, I'm one of those people. I don't know about you guys. I'd be like, oh, no, I can't come to that because there's a cold trough coming over this, then there's a high pressure system and there's the clouds and seriously, like, whoa, definitely can't make that one. The moon, yeah. And see what happened with the stars the other day. Woo, I'm definitely not coming. Sorry, mate. If it wasn't for any of that, I'd definitely be there. Let me just tell you that. That's how awkward I get with a no. I should have done that course, Tonia.
Yeah, you should have. Kim's put in here, I've tried that at work, but for some reason no one listens to me. Well, you're not saying it firm enough, Kim. And sometimes you just say no or just go, especially at work, people will load you up. Just go, yeah, and then just put it back onto them. Don't do it.
No, I understand, Kim, I get what you're saying. You say no and people don't take you seriously, right? And then you've got to say 15 times, and then you've got to get the shits with someone and go, no. And then they'll go, you know what they'll say? They go, oh, she's a bit of a cranky pants, isn't she? Like, and Kim's going, no, I've told you 15 times I don't want to do this shit. But no, you don't listen. And now I have to become, Kim, is that what's happening for you? Just reach out to the community. This is one possibility that I'm using my spiritualness to connect with your pain right now, okay? Sorry, Tonia, I'm just down your path of work. Oh, my.
Well, you come from a very talented clairvoyant, so it's in your genes.
Yep, part of the BGs.
See, Jen's put in here, yes, same, took a while and used to explain myself. Still do sometimes and then realise what I've done. There's no perfect exact science to it. But, yeah, once you become okay with it, it is quite easy to do. But as humans, it's struggle.
Yep. Well, there's that book, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's called The Power in Saying No.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
it's a pretty short book.
Yeah. There's also another one, The Power to Be Disliked. That's another one.
Whoa, yeah. Wow, that's interesting. That's a pretty good one. Oh, Kim, I can't get angry enough over emails and Teams. It's like when High Caps is not telling them how angry you are with some emoji. I get you, Kim. They just keep on sending me all away. You know what they most well go? There goes that funny Kim again. Just Kim trying to say no, but we know what she means. Let's send us some more work. Oh, Kim, as the TNT community, what you can do is you can start delegating your work through to all the members on this community, and we'll start doing some of your work for you. That sucks, Kim. I totally get it. Yep. And you know what? It won't take it. Kim will have to get burnt out or something like that before they go, oh, what happened, Kim? How come you can't do your work? And you go, well, all those times I told you I couldn't do my job because it was way too much and you guys thought it was funny and just kept on sending me work. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Send it through. Kathy's going, yep, just send it on through. I'm telling you now. We're going to give her a chance.
Send it back. I love it, Jen. Kathy's gone, send it through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Send it back, not done, Kim. Just keep sending it back, not done.
And then we find out like Kim's in the medical profession and she like works as like a radiographer. So she's got to read x-rays and MRIs and all that shit. And we've got to interpret them and okay, yeah, just send them through. I'll give it a crack. Yep. Looks like there's a couple of bones there and some muscles. Yep. That's all we've got. Okay. Anything wrong with them? Nah, not that I can see. No, nothing at all. Yeah.
I love it.
That would be pretty cool. But yeah, it does suck. You know, it does, you know, because I really feel like Dr. Google. Yeah, that's even better, Kathy. I like that. Just put into Google. Because you do build up the courage to say no. And then people don't take you seriously. And you're like, have you ever had that time? Have you ever had it where, oh, man?
Oh, yeah, I used to. And I'll share. Jenny put in there, you know, I used to feel guilty saying no.
Yep.
I'd be so people pleasing. I would go out of my way. And when I had my hair salon, like I was the boss plus had heaps of staff. And, you know, I used to feel so guilty having to, you know, rein somebody in, say, or you know, there'd be somebody that was gone a bit AWOL. And it was like, oh, no, I used to get like red. I used to be like bright red through just having to. And the worst thing was they would be like freaking out because they knew that if I said, hey, I need to have a chat. So and also my energy would have been like overwhelmingly onto them. So they were, oh, shit. And then I was feeling the same. And, yeah, you get into that spiral.
Yeah, it is. I really feel for you because that's a tough one. That's a very, very tough one. It is. Kim's in payroll. Jeez.
Well,
looks like everybody's getting a raise.
They'll soon be.
You'll have a lot of happy workers. Kim will tell you what, no, I was on after a pay rise. Yeah, sure. No worries. Yeah. No worries, Daryl. You've been in the company for a week or two. Sure, let's double your wages. We're all over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is very tough when you've got to say no, or you've got to have that difficult conversation as well. And you know, the anxiety comes up and all the indicators come out. You see, you got the redness coming up around your throat and your chest and that because the blood's just pumping and you're just anxious as. Yeah, it's not a good thing. It's I think sometimes some people are so focused on what they want or what they can get, they don't listen to the no. So that's where you've got to go, it's a firm no. And once they get a firm no, then it's okay. Then they can, as you say, you know, I love it the way you say it, Tonia. It's like if you've got a ball and you're going to play, let's say somebody wants to play with you and they got the ball and they throw it to you, they go, if you don't put your hands out and catch it and just drop it, which is a no, then they can't play anymore. But that no's got to come across. So I really like that one that you told us. That was pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I love it. It's the best explanation that is simple to understand, that if we don't buy into it, then, you know, it can't happen. So we need to sometimes work out how we can do that. And for Kim, that's what that'll be about, is working out how to be able to, you know, get that message across.
Yep.
And Jen shared a good one too. A lot of people listen to respond, not to hear.
Agree with that. Absolutely.
And Kathy says, like here, when I say no, I always feel guilty. You need to work on that, Kathy. Like go back to when the whole say no and guilt came about. And I guarantee you it'll be probably years back when you were a child, because we carry that. And that's what makes it hard to do, because it's ingrained in us. And,
pretty
you know,
much.
Even writing up an affirmation, it's okay to say no. I'm safe.
It's a good point. It most probably is something from a childhood thing where you suppress, where, you know, you always have to say yes, or, you know, you can't say no to anything. You always have to be, you know, I don't know about us. I don't know about anywhere else on the planet, but I feel like here in Australia, we've always got this thing where we have to be achieving something, always been doing something, always been doing something great. And it's always that. And therefore you don't have much room to say no. You just got to always be doing, always be doing, always be doing. And that could be a cultural thing as well.
Absolutely. It's kind of justifying our existence, isn't it, really? That's a common thing that we go through as humans. We have to, oh, yeah, but, you know, I've done this and that. And that's even how we have conversations. What have you been up to? Oh, I did this and I did that. And it's all about what we did.
Yeah.
And, you know, for many of us, it's justifying our life or choices or what we're doing. And we all get into that. And sometimes it takes us looking back at our language and seeing what words we're using and, how we're explaining ourselves. Record yourself. That's a good one. Record yourself.
That's a really good one.
Because you want to look at it objectively, and sometimes you can't when you're in it. But if you recorded yourself just having a conversation with somebody, or how you respond, or different times throughout the day, and then listen back, and then you can tend to look at it then from, sitting back and really observing. Because like you said to start with, Tony, how often we think we're a certain way, or we think that's how we are, and it takes somebody to say, oh, well, no, actually, you're not like that. You're like this.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. You need that. Sometimes you've got to be the observer of yourself, don't you? Which is hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
Yep.
It is hard. Well, we are pretty much out of time now. I can't believe our hour's gone. Where did it go? Where did it go?
Don't know. No, it just goes. Hey, Shelby's birthday's on the weekend. Happy 21st to her. She's a legend. I hope your family has a great time all together, which is really nice. For all of us changing jobs, good luck with that. And then for us in hospital, good luck as well. Thinking of you. So that's really, really important. Yeah, that learning, that's always a tough one. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for your contributions. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for being lovely. Let's all have a great week. It's a short week, but let's have a good week. That's what I reckon.
Absolutely. For school holidays, it's all happening. Thank you all for listening. We love you very much, and have an amazing week, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. Take care, everybody.